Rahubat. So can I prefer not to say my name?
That's okay. That's okay.
I'm calling from London.
Yeah. Rahubat.
Rahubat. Before I get into the question, I just wanted to say apologies because my question, I know I could get the answers if I put the work in and with divine love and actually try to give back to Wu-Sabat, but honestly I don't, and I just had to apologize for that. And if this question's already been gone into depth on one of the previous
No, it's okay. It's fine. Go ahead. First of all, I just want to say, because I can't help it. I'm a teacher, and when we say apology, we're just giving energy to Apollo. So a lot of the times, the god Apollo is a Greek god, yeah. So people will say, "I'm going to apologize," and not realizing it's a game wordplay. So the best thing to say, and I'm not having a go at you. I'm just doing it for the benefit of everyone, is to just say, "I'm sorry," and in our language, I will say, "Anuki nadum." Yeah, that's
Anuki nadum.
Perfect. You said that with the correct tones. Like, that's how easy Nuwapic is to learn. But sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. I just wanted to know exactly what happens if one decides to self-delete. Like what? Because I know when you travel into the next dimension, you're gonna see a white light, and you may see your body on a ground or on a chair, and you're levitating above. And I know energy doesn't die, but what exactly happens after that? Like, I know you go into another life and another form.
I got you.
But yeah, talk me through exactly what's going to happen or what would happen.
Okay. There is no such thing as this is exactly what's going to happen, because everybody's experience is going to be different depending on. But number one, deleting yourself is one of the worst possible crimes you can actually commit, because you're here for a reason, and people tend to think when they get to that point of wanting to unalive or delete themselves, it's because they're facing certain trials and tribulations, or going through a hard time, or they're just fed up, or they're tired of this world, or they feel like they want to escape. But in doing that, you don't know that it's going to be better where you're going. And remember that the cycles are given to you to perfect yourself, because we never used to have to go through this cycle. And so the first thing is you come back, and you can come back and be in a worse predicament or in a worse situation or worse scenario than the one you think you're escaping from. Because what it is that you've come here you have a purpose to achieve. And if you prematurely unalive yourself or delete yourself, you're kind of like affecting not just yourself, but everybody else, because it's kind of like you've thrown things off its natural course. And so the main thing is to figure out what is going on and learn how to overcome it, because that challenge is also part of your development and part of your journey to help you prepare. And you may not know that at the moment you're going through that, what you may perceive to be suffering or struggling or whatever. It's when you look backwards, this is where you connect the dots looking backwards, because you can go through something now, and later on you can be in a position you're like, if I didn't go through that, I wouldn't be where I am today, because everything has a connection to everything else. And so you might think it's kind of selfish as well, because you don't know how that will affect one of your family members or anybody around, your family, because that is one of the gravest, sins, if you want to use that word, you can commit, and you don't know what your punishment. But to go through in terms of what happens if you were to go the way you're supposed to go, it also depends on how spiritual you've grown, because this is a skin suit. Your physical body is a skin suit. Your real essence is the other parts of you, like your spiritual being, your soul, if you have one, your etheric being. These will determine where you go, and because it's almost like you're constantly growing and learning to become the highest being you can be, which is a supreme being of a pure soul, pure energy being, or a pure etheric being, which goes back to become a part of all. Pa'ut. Yeah, so I'm saying to you that we have the master teacher, Partner Bab Yanun, Dr. Malachi Z. York, has put out many scrolls dealing with this subject, especially one of the master secrets called The Spiritual You After the Physical You is Gone, right? Dies. So read that scroll carefully. There's another one called the 24 Elders, which talks about what you go through. There's so many scrolls covering this subject because he is a spiritual master as well as a physical master. So yeah, that's not something you should be really doing, because it's something that it could be. Do you want to, for example, come back and go through a worse situation than the one you're trying to escape from? The answer will be no. So yeah, but if you were doing it naturally, you move on to another realm, and then you exist in that realm, and you do the same thing where you graduate, and then you go into the next realm, and to the next realm, to the ninth realm. Okay, so this is where a lot of people who you see videos on YouTube with everyone now, like you put out a video, we will put out a video on Wu-Sabat, and then you'll hear other people put out videos saying completely different things to what we're saying. And there's even now, I'm hearing people, like humans, trying to create racism in terms of the beings that they're in contact with. You know, I heard someone saying, oh, it was the Pleiadians that built the pyramids. So now you can have, you know, extraterrestrials claiming that they did things that they didn't do. I don't really want to go into that subject, but the point I'm making is that, you know, Wu-Sabat will give you the correct information. Stay on it. It takes time. It's like, if it's new to you, you don't give up. Anything you start doing, you don't give up straight away. You have to, you know, you have to keep going. Don't give up when, you know, when you don't know what the journey ahead is. All right?